The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another live show. We got some great guys here, fellow members, James, the Collar Kid, and Tyler. And the show, Tyler's going to be talking about some audio he got from up north. I think it's really good stuff. But before that, how did you get into this Bigfoot subject, Tyler?
Tyler?
I'm hearing two voices right now. I'm sorry, hold on. I was hearing two voices. I know where to respond.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh my, hold on.
I'm going to finish uploading this, so if I drop out, I will be right back.
All right, we'll do. Tyler?
Okay, so no more echo?
I don't think there was echo. But...
There was.
Oh, for you, not for me.
Yeah.
Did you hear what the question was?
Yeah, repeat this question.
Blake just said, give a background of why you got into Bigfooting, basically.
Having a little issues still?
Yeah, I don't know when you're actually talking or when you're not. It's really weird.
Did you hear what I said, though?
I don't know if it's me or someone else.
I think it's just you.
Okay.
Did you hear what I said?
Do you got a YouTube open? Do you have any other apps that are playing this?
Okay, I think we're good now. Okay. Sorry for that.
No,
how'd I get into it? I grew up in West Virginia and North Carolina, and all I used to hear was about Bigfoot, and I didn't really know how to, take it. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then, find Bigfoot, I think a lot of people around, my age, I think find Bigfoot's one that kind of like solidified it, and it encouraged me to go out and mess around, and then. And I like camping too. I'm always outside when I can, and that's just what I do. It's like a little extra fun when you camp. You go out and you cause ruckus in the woods and see what you can get. So, I mean, it's a boring way to get into it, but, I kind of just jumped into it.
And then if you want to talk about your encounters as well, like maybe your first one.
I don't really had a handful of encounters. I haven't had a visual yet, but uh, I've had more so it's audio related. You know, whatever I've captured or anything I've heard. I I've heard howls. I was a part of the 2019 BFRO expedition up north in Michigan, and we got a couple howls. You know that I felt were legit because we got multiple howls. We got the coyotes and the wolves going, and there's a couple ones that were like, you know, what was that? I didn't hear them, but one of the guys heard whoops, which I'm really jealous. I was supposed to stay with him, but I ended up going with the group, and he stayed behind, and he heard the whoops, and he swore up and down. He was jumping around, you know, all cheerful. They heard whoops for once, and we were all pretty jealous. But I mean, the last time I really had a weird encounter was this the exact area where I got the audio that we're going to be listening to. I felt like, you know, I brought a couple skeptics out because I knew this area was hot, and I felt like we were being paralleled because you would hear it and then it would stop, and then you'd hear it and then it would stop, and I thought that was pretty crazy, and the guy with me thought that was pretty crazy, and eventually we got to the to a structure in the area that's pretty well known, and we started hearing voices, you know, just something like, you know, if you're across the room whispering and you're trying to listen in, but you can't quite hear it. That's what it was. It sounded like there's two of them on each side of the trail. And it was freaking everyone out. It was freaking me out because, you know, I'd walked the whole area and no one was camping. You know, the guy we walked the whole area and he didn't see any like tire tracks or anything. And we heard this for probably about, honest to God, like 10 minutes. And every time we would walk on the trail, it would like follow us. Like we could hear it. And it was freaking everyone out because they were like, you know, what is that? What is that? And I'm like, you got me. I don't know. And I equated it to like samurai chatter. You know, you can like, you know, when you think of samurai chatter, you think of like Ron Moorhead stuff. So I mean, that's what instantly came to my head. I didn't hear, you know, samurai in the woods, but like you would just hear talking, and it would be on the edge of hearing. And you're like, you know, who the heck is that? And we walked toward that area later on, and there was no one at all, and it was crazy. And I'm trying to think. I mean, and we were in Allegan that one time, and you know, I thought I heard something going down the river. It could have been anything, but you know, I was on the wrong side of the river with one of the dudes I was with, and he, you know, I heard something, and I think he thought it was like a deer or something, but you know, it was. You never know. You hear this stuff in the woods, and it's hard to distinguish what it is. But you know, when it sounds really big to me, it gets me thinking. So, but no, I haven't had any like amazing eye to eye, you know, encounters yet. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we in that spot we actually went after stuff. We actually heard walking. We got a clip of that we'll show here later, but yeah, we were actually chasing some stuff. You had the thermal off, and you were filming us, but nothing appeared on the thermal, which is very odd.
No, you booked it, and I didn't even know what you were booking for because I didn't see anything.
I heard it. We were hearing it, especially.
No, I heard it too.
Time.
I was like, "What is that?" And the next thing you know, you're in the woods, and I'm like, "Well, you know, I guess I'll just start recording."
Yeah, you know, looking back on it, maybe it wasn't a good idea to go. You shouldn't chase after these things, but you know, at the time, it's like I really want to know what it is, you know. And then the fact that we moved to a different area and it was still following us or in front of us, you know, kind of shows that it's not really a deer. Just like when you were hearing those mumbling samurai chatter, if it was following you guys, normal animals don't follow humans. They go away from humans. They are scared of us. All animals are scared of humans.
Yeah,
mostly. So it kind of lends credit that maybe you guys were hearing some squatches talking back and forth and following you guys.
Yeah, I've never heard that in the woods in my life. I mean, I've been in the woods all my life, and you know, I still hear new sounds here and there, but like it was just crazy. It was like it sounded like two dudes talking, but you could not understand a word they were saying, but you just knew they were talking. And we walked that whole area again. We circled around and just nothing. It was crazy. And then all of a sudden just stopped. Just stopped. You didn't hear it anymore. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we did run after them over there on the west side of the state, and luckily, I think they were pretty good sports and it weren't aggressive or anything, and they seemed to just mess around with us, staying out of sight of the thermal, which is very odd because thermal imagers do not produce IR lights or any kind of light that could be seen. So how should anything know how far back to stay out of sight from a thermal imager, which is I don't know, can't explain. Up north in this other spot, the same thing. We had some thermal hits, and it would stay on the very edge of where the thermal could pick up. Actually, somehow either it knew or maybe it just was lucky in doing normal things. But very odd, very very odd stuff.
I know, it's irritating.
It's like they know. It's very hard to get evidence of Sasquatch. I mean, we've all been doing this for a couple years now as a group, and it's hard. And I think luck has a lot to do with it, and maybe the energy you bring into the woods. A lot of factors that I think we just don't understand. But
yeah, I think if you have the attitude, you're going to go in, look, and find something. You end up never finding anything. That's why, when I went on this trip where I got the recordings, I made aware of my two buddies. I said, hey, you guys are going to do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. I think I know there's Bigfoots here, whether you don't believe me or not. And they're like, oh, whatever. I'll go, I'll shoot one when I see one. And I'm like, hey, that just makes my job easier. And, but, I did like one serious night investigation. That was it. And, during the day I would just walk around and get a lay of the land. Cause I didn't want to throw any red flags in case that actually means something to them. We don't know really how intelligent they are. Right.
I feel like they remember people. And if you do something bad, they're going to remember you, especially. And, I think it's easier, it's just, you could use honey to catch flies, not vinegar. And I think it's the same thing with Bigfoot. If you have good interaction and try to have a better interaction with them, you can hopefully they remember that and they remember you, and they possibly will be more open to doing more stuff and more friendly stuff, because you don't want aggressive stuff to happen, because there is people that go missing in the woods of Michigan and all over North America.
Oh yeah. So I get something from this area every time I go to it. I'm blessed to know about it. Our buddy, he's the one who showed us area, and I respect his area, and I usually try not to interfere with it because that's his spot. But I camp probably a mile or two south of where he usually camps. But that area, man, it's crazy. Something comes up every single time, whether it be small or big.
Yeah, exactly. So let's look at the audio. Let me get set up for it and start going through it. So let me see if James is going to get back on here. I'll be right back.
Oh, I'm alive.
Oh, you're good now?
Yes,
my connection killed the page or something. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so let's jump into this audio. We'll take a listen, and then Josh or Tyler, you go through the clip and talk about it, and then we'll take a listen to it again.
Okay.
So let's start off with the one that wasn't working. Let's see if it is working now, hopefully, because it's really good. So let's cross our fingers, guys, because this wasn't working before the show.
One of my favorites. Oh, I was so excited when I got that because I still want to hear a wood knock in real life. Too bad I was asleep. That happened at like 4:30 in the morning, which was great because the timer on my recorder goes from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. So if it had been 30 minutes later, I would have missed it. Yeah, that was 4:30 in the morning, and that was crazy. And I actually did wood knocks that one night. I did 3 though. Whatever did that was 2, but no, I listened to that every second that audio before and after. And you don't hear anything that you could maybe be like, well, maybe that was a person. It's just dead silence. You just hear bang, bang, and you hear the stick toward the end fly off, like break apart, which is really compelling because I think people could argue, well, that could be something falling out of a tree, because through my audio, one of the nights it was really windy, and I could see that. But I mean, it's just a solid bang, bang, it breaks and goes away, and that's, to me, I mean, that's either a squatch banging a tree or that's someone banging a tree at 4:30 in the morning. And I can tell you right now, no one was out there in that area at 4:30 in the morning besides me and my buddies sleeping, because I walked that area every day and just to see if anyone was camping out there with us. And even the next day, not knowing that I got that, I walked that area and there was no one around, at least for 2 miles. But, that thing's not going to pick up something 2 miles away unless it's super loud. But even then, the guy that was 2 miles away from us, he was just posted up with his UTV because, there's a lot of back roads, and he was just there for, a couple hours.
Right. Yeah, I find that one really compelling, actually, because of the knocks, and you hear the chunk of wood fly off and hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of indicates they actually were using a stick to tree knock and not like slapping on the tree or something else.
Yeah, which is crazy because, I mean, the rumor for that area, was, wood knocks don't work. They don't do wood knocks. They use rocks, and I have rocks on me at all times. It's for that reason. So it was crazy that I got wood knocks, and I did wood knocks, not the same night. This was a different, they did these wood knocks the night after, but I mean, that night with the wood knocks was the last clips I got of anything. But before all of that, though, that's when we get audio of deer running around, something walking up to the recorder pretty close, because you can tell it's close. If you look at the audio file and it's just spikes up because someone's right there. So I don't know if that was maybe like a hunting indication or, hey, it's 4:30, we need to go away. But
right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So let's play it again and then go to the next one. Wow, I mean, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I don't see it being a branch falling out of a tree. I really don't. I think something was hitting something against a tree, whether it be a person or a squatch. But I mean, 4:30 in the morning in the middle of nowhere, I don't know. It's just It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, typically normal people, non-Sasquatchers, they don't really do tree knocks, for any reason. No. Only people who have researched would tree knock, and I would feel that you would probably pick up some talking or something else on the recorder to indicate that.
No, and it's super sensitive, that microphone. So with that knock being as close as it was, that's why I pay attention to every second of before and after, because I'm thinking I'm gonna be so irritated if I hear a bunch of dudes like giggling or something, but you don't. It's just dead silence.
Yeah. And I think it's just intriguing that the fact that you do hear this chunk of wood fly out, hit the ground. I mean, it does kind of prove in one way that they are using sticks.
Yeah.
To a tree knock. It's not slaps. It's not pops with their mouth or other things, which I'm sure they do, but obviously they're picking up sticks and hitting it. So
yeah. No, I was so excited when I heard that last knock and I just heard the branch just break and go across the ground. I was like, oh man, that is a wood knock.
Yeah. Yeah. And a good one. Good, clear wood knock.
On wood. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So let's play some more. I know you got some coyotes in some of these and you got some other audio and stuff. So
I think you got some owls.
Yeah, I'm not sure which order they are because they didn't upload. The ones that uploaded faster are first, so they're out of order. All right, that's the one that doesn't work. That's the one we just played. All right, so take us through this one.
That was the first major clip I got. That was the first night, and that was about 12:15 in the morning, and nothing concrete. It's just something walking. I spent like probably 2 hours like watching like deer videos and listening to deer to just maybe debunk it, because that's something we should do.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be like that's Bigfoot instantly, and because at first, in my opinion, it kind of sounds bipedal. You just hear stomp, 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 but then and then it kind of gets like more. You hear stomp, 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 which to me means it's like a quadruped or something. But I was just weird because after that event, and I was talking to you this privately not too long ago, but like this, where I put my recorder, like there was no strategic planning. I just was walking down the trail with my buddy, and I'm like, that tree looks really nice. I'm just going to put it right there. It wasn't even a wide open space. It was a really tight area. So, I saved the clip, not thinking it was going to really mean anything. I just thought it was cool. I got something walking past it. But after that clip, we have another clip of something walking by it again. I have a couple other clips, something walking by it again. I don't think I saved those because it sounds the same thing. It's you're listening to the same thing like 3 different times, but it shows that like whether it be a deer or whatever, something continually walked past that thing for some odd reason. And there was no game trail either, because when I went back, because I want to put it somewhere where no one was going to find it. No trails, no game trails. I mean, there was no reason, in my opinion, for something to constantly walk past that recorder unless there was a reason for it. I mean, either, in my opinion, maybe it was my scent, that maybe lured them in there, or, could have been a Sasquatch who just happened to see it and wants to know what it was. Those are the only two options I can really think of.
Right.
That was going to be my follow-up question if there was a game trail.
Yep, no game trail.
All right, let's play another one. I think that's the same one. Sorry,
Yeah.
every time I show it and then click off of it,
No,
it doesn't highlight it, and if I go to other controls, I have to re-find it. So here's the next clip.
I wonder, was that the second one?
I think that was different. Was that the peeing one?
Yeah, I think it might have been because it was a little longer. Yeah, I mean, for those who didn't hear it, one of the walking ones I say because something peed on the, I assume the tree it was hanging out of, because I was listening to it and I'm like, oh, just something walking again, and I start hearing tss, like if you're taking a pee in the woods, you hear the your
The
pee hitting the
stream.
leaves and stuff. Yeah, and I'm like, wow, so something has the balls to just pee right there. And again, it's like, you could have picked anywhere to piss, but you chose my recording tree. So, we were talking about Blake. It could have been K9, and I mean, it could be anything.
Right.
I'm equating it to K9, deer, or maybe a Bigfoot. I mean, that's a stretch, but something peed and something walked. And again, like I have like 4 or 5, like throughout the whole 3-4 nights I was there, of like just continuously walking right past it, and then we got the footage of something hauling it right by it too.
Yeah. Yeah, the peeing is hard to hear in the beginning. I'm on my phone, so I can't really hear it. But
I didn't really hear
on the
the
computer, or if you have headphones, especially headphones are the best to hear stuff. You can actually hear it. It is peeing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to do like make a YouTube video or like post the audio like on a Facebook post so people can really hear it.
Right.
I don't mind sharing this stuff. It's I think we should. I'm not going to just keep this in my computer, not show anybody. This is how we prove existence.
That is
Exactly.
correct.
All right, let's get to the next one and then see what.
Are you sure
see
it
what
wasn't
it's
like
about.
you or your buddy that walked that far just to piss?
I mean, dude, I'm telling you,
Or maybe another hunter.
that P clip was 3 a.m, and that is the only area I I'm pretty uncomfortable in. Any other area we go in, I'm pretty mellow, but like I don't know why, but dude, I can't, like, if I have to take a pee in the middle of the night in that area, I just hold it. I hold it till the morning. I'm being honest, because even what's crazy is my buddy, and he literally told me this yesterday, because I was showing him the audio clips because he's a non-believer, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And he's like, I wasn't gonna tell you this until now, but he's like, that area creeped me out. He's like, because we go to Mayo all the time. And he's like,
Right.
that area just felt really weird. He's like, I'm being dead serious. He's like, I'm not saying, I believe your Bigfoot stuff, but he's like, but every time it got dark, he's like, I felt like something was watching us, or he said he felt like just an eerie feeling. And I'm like, dude, I do too. That area just has a vibe.
It definitely does. A lot of people, even old timers, first discovering the area, said, there's something about it. There's some type of energy about it, and it's weird. So, all right, let's play the next one.
That for sure sounds like something on all fours.
Yeah, no doubt. I really think it was something in all fours. I don't doubt it one bit. It's just, I can't stress this enough. Like out of every area in that forest, and it's a big area, like, why are you running right next to my recorder? Like, it just made me feel like there was something about that area that, I don't know if it was happened to be an area for deer or something, but like, and then you hear that grunt in the beginning, if anybody caught that. I still really don't know what it is. I'm really leaning toward a deer because I was listening to some audio even like this morning, just brush up on it before we did this, and I can't find a deer making that noise on YouTube or Google, but I can hear deer making similar noises to it. But it's hard. I want to say it's a deer, but it could be anything. It's just weird because to me, you hear that noise and then you hear the deer run past, because you think you would hear it coming with the deer, but that's just my opinion.
Do you think the animal knew the recorder was there?
I mean,
or maybe it was just like a little highway that just runs there.
Well, see, that clip was captured. So the peeing clip, that running clip, and the wood knocks are all on the same night. So it started with the peeing clip, and then that clip happened around 3:30 because that deer running was only like an hour away from the wood knocks. And so I think something, that, like I said earlier, like I think something knew something was there, because again, it's like there's all these woods you can run around in, you can walk around in, you purposely choose to go right there where there's no game trail, no nothing. Zip. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, the grunts at the beginning, we don't have pigs. We have pigs here in Michigan, but they're very rare, and they're shot on sight.
You mean boars?
Huh?
You're talking about boars?
Yeah, pigs, wild pigs, feral pigs. If I was down in the south, someone would probably say pigs, but we don't have them. And deer can grunt. It's kind of rare. Like you said, you couldn't really find the right audio. What I find intriguing is it runs past the recorder, it turns around, and then run past it again.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what the heck?
Which
are you sure,
is a little
it's the
odd.
same thing, or maybe another one?
I don't know if it was another deer or not. It could have been two separate deers, but I mean, it's just, I mean, it runs right past it. I mean, I wish I could show,
It could be two separate squatches as well.
I mean, yeah, because I mean,
all fours.
Because that's my thing. It's like, I don't know how much a deer really cares about certain things in the woods. Like, I wouldn't think a deer would be that bothered by something in the woods like that to where it has to lurk around it constantly.
Deer don't do that.
And I know, Bigfoots will go on all fours. That's something that ran through my head. But again, that's like, that's really, in my mind, like, that's a stretch to be like, well, it could be just a Bigfoot going on all fours or on my recorder constantly because he doesn't want to make it seem like, it's a Bigfoot, which, that's a huge stretch. But that's something to think about. Could be on all fours, but I really think it's two deer. The grunting, I still can't understand what it is. I really lean toward a deer, but for a while though, I'm thinking, it was chasing it and it was grunting as it was chasing it. That's a scenario that could be possible, but yeah, the grunting, I can't officially line two audios with it to match, but more so, I think it's a deer. But there's another like 50% it could be something else.
Right. I mean, you have to. We can't say it's 100% it's a Sasquatch. When I listen to that clip on my headphones and stuff, it sounds like the deer turns around and comes back. In my opinion, that's what I think is going on. But I could be wrong. We're only having. It'd be awesome if if we had two recorders out there. Then you could pick up. Maybe it is something else. It might be a good strategy. To have one placed away so you can tell if it came back or for something else, if it's two animals.
Yeah.
It's great learning because, when you get all these stuff, you're like, oh man, I wish I did this. Or maybe if I set it up like this.
I know. I should have like a trail cam there at this point, man. There was so much action around that one little area.
But that maybe would have made it to where nothing happened.
I know.
I mean, you never know.
Thing. I know. But still, it's like, I wish I knew what was messing around that area because then it would just solidify everything. Because for all we know, it could just be a bunch of raccoons. But I don't think it was.
Well, the knocks help.
Well, yeah. I mean, the knocks.
I mean, that right there. I mean, that's only one thing doing it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if a Sasquatch is in the area and if it's around your recorder, it's going to spot it pretty easily. It might be able to even smell your scent off of it.
Yeah.
It might get curious and mess around with it or, watch it and be close by.
Well, I got a clip of something scratching at it. And the thing is, I didn't notice it until I brought it back. I actually looked at it a couple days ago when I was looking over the footage. And yeah, there's because I spray painted it camouflage, and there's claw marks, where something, its claw went through the paint and stripped it all the way down to, the white PVC. It's not a huge claw mark. I mean, but it's pretty.
Oh, it was in
it's big enough. Yeah, it's PVC. Yeah, I put it in the container. Yeah, I put the recorders and microphones in a container. So, because it rained actually the whole time, so I had to preserve the microphones and stuff. So,
right.
But yeah, no, something's clawed at it or touched it in some type of way. Hopefully, we'll be able to hear that clip.
Well, interesting about that is. It's hanging up in the air. It's about 6.5 feet tall or something? Or?
Yeah. It's so. I wish I would have took a picture of it, but it's like the tree literally was like bent kind of, and it was hanging on another tree, and there was no branches, by the way. So that's why it really makes me think that something touched it, whether it be a bird, squirrel, raccoon. I don't know what it was, but like there was. I mean, it got windy a couple times, but like there's no branches for that thing to brush up on. And yeah, it was, I'm 6'1", and, when I put up in the tree, I kind of raised my arm up to put it up there. So it was about 6.5 feet off the ground, roughly, maybe a little less, but I was at least 6 feet off the ground.
So if we critically think about that, it's dangling in the air. If a raccoon was to scratch it, he'd have to climb the branch, come down the wire, and you would hear all that commotion.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, what is reaching up at 6.5 feet and doing it?
Yeah.
Because a squirrel would have to do the same thing. It'd have to climb the branch, climb down the rope to get to it before it could even scratch it.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bird, you probably would be able to hear it fly up and land on it.
Yeah, I don't think I heard any wings. I think you just hear like scratching, and it's like I know it's something touching it because when I was playing with it and tinkering with it, when I would touch the container, the microphones are super sensitive, so it made this high pitched like noise because it's picking up me touching it, and it's got awful noise. And I knew something was touching it as soon as I heard that. I'm like, oh my god, something is touching it, whether it be a bird, raccoon, squirrel, something's touching it. And then there's actually claw marks in it. There really is. There's parts of it where the paint is stripped off because something dug its claws into it.
So you don't think it could be a bear?
I feel like you'd hear the bear walking up to it. I don't think
you don't hear anything approach it.
No, I have a double. We'd have to listen to it real quick, but because I have 15 different clips that I did, but I don't think you hear anything walk up to it. You might hear a little rustling, but a bear, you probably know a bear doesn't sneak up on something. I'm sure it sneaks up on stuff, but it wouldn't sneak up on something like that. You would hear it come up, come down the forest way.
I think it'd probably do more damage and probably rip it down.
Oh yeah,
bears are pretty Yeah, that's what a bear would do if it's already scratching on it. It'd probably bite it and probably rip it down and see if there's something in it.
Yeah,
it might look like a bird feeder to them, to one of them.
Well, it basically does look like a bird feeder. So
right,
and that's why I think birds as a theory, but you don't hear wings. You don't hear wings, so.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. You should take a picture of the scratch marks on it, and you say that it's not that big, right? So you think it's like a maybe fingernail? Do you think it's like a cat claw type of how thick is it?
It's I need to look at it again. It's not super thick. It's not like a fine mark. It's it could be a fingernail type size. There's a couple of them, and it's I don't know what it is. It's almost bigger than a cat's, claw mark, but it's not too big. So, but there is a big gash at the bottom of it, which I don't know where that came from. Because again, there's no branches for it to slam against. There wasn't. So
right.
I don't know what would cause that. And that was my first time putting the feel. So there was no marks on it to begin with. It was fresh off the line, I'd never used it in the field. It hangs up in my closet and nothing touches it. So yeah, I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah. Let's play it again. We'll play this the clip with the grunts, the running real quick. I'll replay the grunts a little bit, so hopefully you guys in the chat and watching can hear it. I think it's pretty intriguing, whether it's a deer or something else. Yeah, that grunting at the beginning, when I first heard it, I was a little put off too because it just sounds weird.
Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying though? How you hear the grunting first and you hear the deer go right by it. You know what I'm saying? That's what puts me off is you think if we're saying it's to deer, you think you would hear the grunt as the deer is running past it, but you hear the and then the deer like runs right past it.
If it's a deer, I mean, we don't know what it is.
So that's the only thing that like throws me off, and that's why like I won't say it's 100% a deer, but it's just did. Well, I mean, I lean toward the deer mostly. I lean toward the deer mostly because I mean I found audio that sounds somewhat similar, not fully, nothing concrete, but the only reason why I think it might not be a deer is because just of that part where it's like you hear the grunting and then you hear the deer run right past. I really think if it was that deer, you would hear it as deer's running past, not, grunt and then you hear the deer go by. Because the deer obviously is coming from somewhere else. It's not like right next to it and just books it. You can hear it coming closer and closer.
Right. That is very odd.
Let me see.
We got a Facebook user says.
Hold on, let me figure out who it is real quick.
They said young Bigfoot sound like that because they run on their hands and gallop by slapping the ground with their hands and propel themselves forward. When they run like that, they actually look like gorillas or monkeys without tails. The vocal at the start says it all. He's running around testing the boundaries, and he's a young juvenile. And the knocks are from him too. There's more than one of them, but he's the bravest, and he's showing off a bit too. He's a lookout for the others in the group. That's that person's opinion on that audio clip.
That's one hell of an opinion.
That was William Henry, and I'll
William Henry, yep. He's a good guy. He got some incredible pictures on Facebook. Might have to have him on the show here one of these days.
I would love to say that that's what it is. And you know what? It's fascinating he says that because we really do have there is a theory, and Bill's been on the show, so I'll say his name. He believes that one of them not too long ago had a baby because, he was on Facebook Live. What was it, 2 years ago? He was on Facebook Live out there and he had, he heard moaning and he said he thought he heard crying and stuff. And that structure, it's a theory. That structure might indicate something where something had labor. Because the BFRO, we went there and we put a purple light inside of it, and there was a bunch of bodily fluids everywhere. We didn't like DNA test anything, but like you could tell like there was stuff in there. So, yeah.
Did they collect any samples?
I don't think they did. They did. They could have. I don't 100% know because I remember it was when we did it, it was pitch black and that log was still there where the claw marks were in. We were all looking at the claw marks. I don't know. You know what? Looking back, I wish some would have, but that structure was already a year old before the BFRO went out there and actually looked at it. So,
right. It could be other animals.
That's what we were saying. Because at that time, it was still high enough where like a bear could fit in it. I could fit in it. I was just there. Right. It's still there, which is incredible. And I love how, they literally cleared out that trail because it used to be like you couldn't even walk two people side to side, but now you can. And they literally they got there and you could tell they were like, well, what the hell is this? And they did a trail around it and kept going. It's crazy. You would think I think it freaks them out when DNR or whoever goes out there and messes with the trails. I think it creeps them out a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so let's
wait, hold up.
All right.
I was gonna read the rest of William Henry's post.
Okay.
So it ended off where he said that
he's a lookout for the others in the group. That's all I have from him.
So then he says those stick breaks were purposely done when they're feeling a bit adventuresome and their thoughts drift off onto other thoughts. They enjoy snapping sticks into kind of subconscious nervous thing that's comforting for them. It's a relief of tension, stress. It reveals a moment. It helps them with boredom, I guess. So
it could be.
Yeah, that's basically what he said.
A lot of people think they're OCD about stuff, and they have little tics about them. They have to do stuff, and Robert Kreider said this too. Like sometimes, like they have to touch stuff. Sometimes they got to touch stuff and break something, and it seems like maybe there's a lot of quirks to them, and and for whatever reason, they have their own reasons. They do a lot of stuff that we just have no idea why.
Yeah.
So it could be. All right, let's play this next clip and hear what's going on. That was the scratching clip.
Yeah. So that's something physically touching it. Like, there's no doubt about it. And there's literally scratches on it. So, I mean, yeah. And you don't hear anything really walk up to you. You kind of hear like a little bit of leaf litter right before it does it. But, like, you don't hear any wings flapping. You don't hear, you just hear scratching. And I didn't really know what to think about. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was interesting, and I saved it. One can speculate, but I mean, what's your guys' input?
I think it could be a small animal it was on a tree, right?
Yeah, it was hanging on a tree.
So
it's hanging off a tree.
Yeah, the tree was like bent over, so like the hook was on like the trunk of the tree, so there's no branches anywhere near it. It was perfectly like on the tree. The tree was like almost in like those bent, like when the tree's like bent over, and sometimes people think it's Bigfoot. What I'm saying? It's almost like those U shapes. That's basically what it was. And I hung it. It was a huge tree. So
it's right up next to the trunk, so something could climb up to it, right?
Something could, yeah. Something could, but you don't hear that too.
Okay.
You would think you would hear that, and you don't really. You hear like little leaf litter, and then you just hear the scratching, and I mean something got pretty close to the microphones because that really one high pitched noise. I mean that's something getting whatever it was, something getting close to the microphone. Because I could totally mimic that scratching right now, and it's easy because I know how to do it. Something touched it.
So you don't think it was a small animal is what you're trying to say?
I think it could easily be, but my thing is it's you don't really hear anything because I don't think a squirrel or a raccoon is going to stealthily go up to it and do that. And I don't know. It could be anything. I won't roll out a squirrel, raccoon, or anything. I definitely don't think it's a bird. You would hear wing flaps. The microphones are too sensitive not to pick up wing flaps. So I definitely don't think it's a bird. So I'm leaving it up to, whatever anyone really thinks. But, again, that scratching was done the second night. So that scratching was later done after I did a bunch of howls. So I got the weird talking will eventually
about the time.
That one, yeah, scratching was 10:03. So this scratching
AM or PM?
PM 10. So I don't want to skip ahead, but just so you know, an hour before 10:03, which was the scratching, was when we got the weird talking that will hopefully play because that's like.
Well, you got talking.
Oh yeah. Well, we got that gibberish. I call it talking.
Did you send me that one or no?
I think I did, yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, you're gonna hear it.
You sent me like 4 clips, so
You're gonna hear. I hope it plays because that's like the crown jewel, in my opinion. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thinking about if it's a small animal, you think you would hear it climbing up the tree, or leaving after it's done scratching. You think you would hear it climbing down the tree or anything. And squirrels are sleeping by that time. Raccoon maybe, but I feel like it probably would mess with it a little bit more. You'd probably hear it climb up the tree or scurry away. It's just odd that there's really nothing, like you say, and then all of a sudden there's the scratches.
Yeah, you hear a little leaf litter, but that could be wind blowing. But still, like, I mean, you don't hear anything, and you just hear the scratching, so it's mysterious.
So what does Blake think it is? Oh, he left. Oh no,
no, I'm here. I'm sorry. I just got some funny, not so funny news, but kids.
Oh, okay.
We found the pee bucket.
Oh.
Oh man, I tell you what, that's hilarious. Gotta love them. Well, I didn't even hear that. I was talking to my girlfriend, and she was telling me that.
What do you think the scratching is from?
Well, like I was saying, I really don't think it's. I feel like you would hear other animals, normal animals. You would hear them coming up to the recorder, climbing the tree if it could, and then scratching it, leaving. But you don't hear nothing. And Tyler's reviewed the whole audio clip, and if something was walking up to it and then scratching, he'd let us know.
Yeah.
There's definitely knocks, so there's definitely activity in the area that we know of for sure. I think it might be a curious, Sasquatch.
Do you think like baby Bigfoot?
That's a tall baby Bigfoot, 6.5 feet off the ground.
It's hard to say.
Juvenile.
It might be. A lot of people think that they're more brazen. They're more, they want to interact more curious. Adults are more reserved from their experience. But it could be an adult. I mean, we just don't know. It'd be interesting to see the scratch marks on the picture. But
Do you have
I would
camera, Tyler.
I would lean towards maybe possibly Sasquatch activity because you did have wood knocks and you did have some other stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and then whenever we get to it, like I said, like when we hear, the talking, that was an hour. The scratching was an hour before the talking, so the talking happened, and an hour later the scratching happened, and I'll explain more when we get to that clip.
Go ahead, James.
No, what were you gonna say?
What I've noticed from other people doing audio and some of the stuff that we've got and stuff that we've got from the UP, is that it seems like if you were having interaction, it seems like they stay around a while, then they do stuff every so often. It might not be like every 30 minutes, but usually every hour there's something. I got one audio recording of tapping, tap, 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 tap. And this goes on all night long until the morning, and then it stops.
Oh,
that's cool.
But every couple minutes, every half hour.
Could be like water dripping on it, maybe?
That's what I was thinking, but it never rained that night.
Hmm.
And even if it was rain or dew, that usually dew accumulates towards the end of the night and beginning of the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
all my action happened after I started making, an ass of myself in the woods. Like the first night, we got the walking around stuff, and I got coyotes and maybe the pack of wolves. You hear them going off. Like first night, I drove there. I was tired. I went to bed like 10 o'clock. I didn't care to go walk around. It wasn't so, but yeah, after this, second night happened, and I did all those howls. I did a tree knock. That's when, like, after that, like every night has like at least 2 things go down. So I don't know if I draw them in or they happen to be in the area and I was going to get it regardless, but
Right. Well, let's listen to that scratching clip one more time, and then we'll move on to the next one. Awesome. So let's jump up to the next one real quick. All right, take us through that one, Tyler.
So obviously the first howl was me. I wish I would have
Yep.
got one of those howls. That'd been great. But yeah, I mean the clip's really long because I want to like, stress that, I'm not doing anything to play with anything. So I did a howl. I waited a while. So, you hear a part where like the static gets really intense. I also did was amplify it so people can hear it a little bit more. But yeah, that first part you hear the why, I heard that because I swear, like I jumped out of my chair because I had no idea what that was. Because I was not expecting to hear that, and I did a bunch of howls. And you hear anything after in the howls, but after that one, for some reason, it went off, and then you hear it again, but it's a little farther away. But in between them, you kind of hear a little bit of talking, and that's me and my two buddies. At first I didn't think that'd be us, but I really amplified it, and I determined it was us talking because that was actually the point when we started, walking just a little bit closer to the recorder. I forget why. I think I want to get closer to the to the edge of the woods because where we were at, it was a wide open area. They had just logged the area, so we were in the middle. The echoes were great. But it's crazy. I mean, like when you hear those two little voices, I instantly my head goes right to, Ron Moorhead's, Sierra sounds where you hear them talking in the woods and the samurai and how he was going back and forth with it. You don't get like a perfect one like he did, but you get like that one, voice, and you hear it twice, and one's really close up and one's a little bit in the distance. So I assume it was close and it could have backed off, or there could have been two and it was signaling each other. But I mean,
it was probably signaling to warn that the recorder was there.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it's possible. Maybe they know that.
Totally possible, but like, it just blew my mind. I mean, hearing that, because like, it's definitely not me or my buddies because, it just doesn't sound like us. And the fact that like you can barely hear us, but that thing you can hear, right off the bat, makes.
How far was the recorder away from your camp? Estimate.
So the recorder was about a quarter mile from camp. I didn't really want it picking up anything from camp because it would contaminate stuff. But at the time we were doing that, I was probably, I'd say 200-300 yards from it. So that's why you could kind of hear us talking. We were whispering. I'm anal about going out and doing stuff. Like I told him, like, you better whisper because if I miss something, I'm gonna be pissed. And I did miss something.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on it.
I think you should just act how you normally do because they know you're there. I know, like, you want to get the clearest recording possible, but if you just act like you normally would, you might get more interaction because they're curious.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it sounded like something in the first clip, like talking. I don't know what it was, but it sounded good, whatever it was.
Yeah, it it sounds like talking or mumbling or some samurai chatter. It kind of sounds like what I've heard before.
Yeah, I've heard it
what
once
kind of
too.
other animal is making that noise? I mean,
no one.
doesn't sound familiar to me.
No.
Yep. Yeah, like one of my first time ever out in the woods, I heard that, and there was only like 2 of us out there, me and someone else, and I was like, "What the heck was that?" And it was like fairly close, like within like 50 yards. So.
Yeah, and another thing, I was thinking about this at work the other day because I was thinking about that clip, and I'm thinking like I want to try to debunk this in any way possible. And so, the microphones, there's 2 of them. One goes on each side of them. And what's fascinating is, and obviously I can't show this right now on the stream, but when you hear me and my buddies talk really low, one side of the microphone jumps up, indicating it was on the right side, it was recording. But then when that thing talks, the left side strikes up as well. So meaning that the one side was perfectly aimed toward the clearing, the other side was in the woods or somewhere near the edge of the woods. So that's when it really solidified it for me, because if it came from both directions, I'd be like, well, maybe it could have been us somehow. I mean, I don't ever remember any of us doing any of that stuff. I probably would have slapped someone if someone did that, because that would have totally ruined my audio, recording. But it was coming from different directions. And I just, dude, I don't know. I mean, I literally, for like an hour, I was just listening to Ron Moorhead's stuff. And you listen to that stuff, and then you play those 2, you play my clip, you can almost hear it. It's like you hear that kind of like that samurai. It's crazy. I mean, I really think that's a Bigfoot. The wood knocks and that clip, I really think it's a Bigfoot. And that's the only time you're going to hear it in this stream, me saying I think it's a Bigfoot. Because all the rest of it is just speculation. But those 2 clips, I don't think it was anything besides a Bigfoot.
Right. I mean, if you never got the knocks and you just had this, maybe you could say something else. But all of it adding together, it does kind of lean towards the Sasquatch. Whether it's a juvenile or a grown up, I mean, that's hard to tell. Probably can't tell it. But to me, I think, you had activity. I mean, there's nothing out there banging sticks on trees besides either a person or a Sasquatch. And people out there in the middle of the woods usually have flashlights, and you probably would have been able to see it from camp. If you don't have a flashlight, people are clumsy. They're not stealthy at all. The opposite. So you'd be able to hear that. I think it's great. I mean, really, really great. Some of the best stuff. It's not easy to capture this stuff. So when stuff is actually captured, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I got it within a weekend is crazy, because I would have been perfectly fine just getting knocks. But because I heard this clip obviously first, so I'm thinking like, oh man, it can't get any better than that. And then I hear the knocks, and I'm like, oh my. I'm like, what the hell? Because I truly did not think nothing was going to happen, because I camped there. I told you earlier I felt weird, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see the usual signs. I didn't see, I'm not a big tree structure guy, but at the same time, though, some stuff stands out. I go over there and I investigate, and I see if it's different trees mixed together, or if, the roots are sticking out. And, I didn't see any of that stuff. I didn't get anything. So, yeah, it's just, I didn't see any of this coming.
So who is this Ron Moorhead guy?
You don't know who Ron Moorhead is?
I'm not very in the Bigfoot world. So.
Wow.
Ron Moorhead was a guy who got the Sierra sounds, which is the best audio evidence ever captured.
I know what those are.
He's the one who got them at this remote spot in the Sierra Mountains where it was a hunting camp. And after that, they kept, I think the year before that, they actually had activity. The next year, he brought out audio recorders, and then he tried to get him a few more times. And he's a guy who's he wrote the book on quantum Bigfoot,
Yeah.
where he believes that they have more quantum physics type of abilities, or paranormal, as other people would say, where they can cloak and stuff through quantum science, as explaining it. He was at West Branch last year and in the springtime. Just check him out. He's a pretty good guy.
Yeah. Really great audio from him. I mean, you listen to his stuff and it's crazy because, I just, within the last couple of years, I actually listened to like the full tapes and it's crazy what he got because either, either those are Bigfoots or, I mean, he has someone out there going completely ballistic. Multiple people because it's multiple different sounds and it's just, I mean, it's all recorded in 1970s. and it was like 71.
Oh, it was the 70s?
No, it was 70s.
I think it was later than that. I think it was mid 70s.
It might have been mid 70s. I know it was in the
maybe.
70s because you're right. I think like he was getting experiences out there, and then he finally was like, "I'm going to bring my recording stuff," and he did. And oh man, it's great. It's great recording stuff. I mean, and honestly, James, I bet if you listen to his stuff and then listen to that clip again, you're going to be like, "Oh wow, that kind of sounds like it." So that's why I'm in love with that clip. It's great. I mean, it's not much. You hear just a little bit of it, but I mean, I don't know what the hell else that'd be.
Right. So let's play that clip again.
Yeah, that was my second thing. Can we play it again?
Let's play it again. That was the wrong clip. My bad.
Yes, it was. Yeah, man. I mean, that's some great stuff. Is there a knock in there too?
I think that's. I mean, it's either a knock or I think it's the natural gas pumps because I got a lot of that type of stuff throughout the audio. There's a couple times I thought it's knocks, but it might be. I don't know. I
mean, that sounds great. I mean,
yeah,
it definitely sounds like them talking or a language. It doesn't sound like a growl or a grunt or something you could associate with a deer or some other animal.
No. It's the same. Like I mean, both clips are like the same, and it's like one you really hear, and the other one you hear in the distance. So I get, you always speculate: is the same one backing up, or is it one signaling the other? Because I wasn't too far away from this recorder, and whatever this thing wasn't either. So it's like, and I was, and what bugs me the most is, my FLIR at this point died.
Wow.
So yeah, I
What do you
brought
mean
it out
died?
there. The battery I had in it, my buddy was using it, and I did that initial howl, and he gave it to me and said it just shut off, and I tried to turn it back on. I think it was just so cold that it just drained the battery
Yeah, that'll
rapidly.
happen.
And but yeah, because I mean it was definitely near my recorder, and there was only one direction to look, and it's like, I mean, could have I got something? Who knows? But yeah, I definitely it's something separate from me and my buddies, because you can hear me and my buddies talk a little bit, and that's amplifying it. Like, you don't need to even amplify this to hear the two things talk. I just did it so you can hear it more clearly. If you don't amplify it, you barely hear me and my buddies, but you hear this thing. So it's like it's something completely separate, and it's crazy. I didn't think I'd ever get something like that.
Yeah, and you can tell it's a lot closer to the recorder than you guys, obviously. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's some pretty good evidence. Some great stuff. Yeah, man, you got lucky, man. You got lucky for sure.
I really did. You know what? I'm probably gonna go 5 years and not get anything now. This was my shot.
Maybe they recognized you out there. I definitely think that they recognize people, and they remember people, both for good and bad things, especially the bad.
Because I've been out there quite a few times. I mean,
yeah.
I did have my gun strapped to me, though, so I don't think I put on the most friendly, mood out there. But then again, there's other crap out there. There's wolves, there's bears. So I didn't want to take any chances. But I don't think one would want to come up and hug me, because it wouldn't like the result.
In my experience, guns don't matter. Like the one up north showed themselves to us, and I had my rifle. I pointed my rifle at them, and then I slung it back on my shoulder, and then they showed themselves. So, I think it's more of the attitude of the person, what they're doing. I think they can pick up, just like a dog or other animals. Your vibe. Certain dogs just don't like certain people, and some, there's usually a good reason for it.
Yeah. I mean, my buddy, we had a pretty good vibe out there, I was being pretty serious, so I don't, obviously we don't have the show, but I like doing the Ohio Howl the most. I think I can do it pretty well. But I do like doing, kind of like the, the, I guess you call it the coyote or the wolf, howl. And my buddies always make fun of the Ohio Howl, because every time we go camping, I always do it. And we were just kind of laughing, joking. I was being serious the whole time, but yeah, we had a pretty good mood out there. Minus the gun strapped to my chest, but
what?
Yeah, well, it was. I was prepared. Something was going to come out of those woods. It's either me or the animal. So
No, that's exactly how it should be. Especially if there's other predators out there like bear, and there is wolves out there.
Yeah.
And there is mountain lion here in Michigan.
Oh, and that's the one thing I forgot. Yeah, I don't like a kitty cat. I don't mess with them. And not that it would ever come after 3 dudes. I think it would never do that, but you never know. And I felt kind of like responsible for those guys, because I knew the area. I picked the area, I picked the campsite. So it's like, my buddy had his shotgun, but it was at camp. But, we walked out in the middle of the woods, pitch black. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bring my gun just in case.
You have to. There's people that go missing all the time in the woods. Humans are like toddlers out there. We're pretty defenseless. We don't have claws. We don't have teeth, No. If you're unarmed and you're in a wilderness environment, you're kind of a little bit of stupidity going on. Yeah. Just because humans are so weak compared to every other animal. And so, there's a video I've seen. I was gonna post it in the group, and it shows a little squirrel go into the garage and climb up on the sky and start biting him on the neck. And it messed the guy up pretty bad. And it was just a little squirrel. And it runs up and climbs up to his throat very fast. And so you got to think an actual big animal, big predator, they're very strong.
Yeah.
A 200-pound bear, a 200-pound any kind of animal can easily kill a person. and there's black bear in that area that get over 500 pounds, and black bear do prey upon humans. Grizzly bears typically attack people when they get surprised and stuff, but black bear will actively hunt people. They are known to do that.
Yeah.
So you always got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I think that area is great. I mean, the fact that it has like almost every animal you can think of really shows, I think it's a really good habitat for them. I think they're there all year round. I think they might move around. They might not be in the same exact area at all times, but you know, I took a risk, you know, like I could have totally went to the usual spot I'm used to going when I come visit, but like I said earlier, you know, that's not really at someone else's spot. He found it, you know, that's Bill's area. I went like about a mile or two south, you know, just so I wasn't interfering with his stuff, and I ended up getting stuff. So, and I even said at the beginning of the year that I think that they're moving south.
Disclose locations.
Well, I mean, I already said it's Bill. I didn't give
It's all
GPS
good.
coordinates.
I know, but some people might know that are watching.
Well, they don't know 2 miles south.
It's not that hard to figure out.
I think the people, the reason why we don't tell people this spot, because it is actually very dangerous. One of the probably dangerous spots in Michigan to go. And, you know, as far as other people knowing and stuff, you know, I think it's all about the vibes and stuff. And sometimes people just don't act a certain way. They can get hurt. And I think people don't take it seriously enough.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean,
let's jump up. Let's jump to the next clip. We got a couple more.
Oh man!
Make sure I don't play the same one again. So I apologize if I do.
Well, you might.
I might. All right, here we go.
Forgot how long that one was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing concrete I really think in it. I mean, it's really, I mean, I really enjoy having that, in my arsenal of audio. It's really cool to get all the coyotes and stuff, hearing them go off when you do nothing to make them go off. But I mean, who knows? One could have, maybe a Sasquatch could have snuck its way in the middle of all that howling and did something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was cool, so I saved it.
It is good. It is good to have that as a reference because a lot of people hear coyotes and stuff, and sometimes they think it's a Sasquatch, or especially when they're yipping and stuff, they make some pretty unique noises. And but towards the middle, before the last lone coyote, it does sound like there's something farther away that does howl.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree, because that stood out to me too. And but it's so far away and it's so faint. It's like there's nothing you can really conclude about it. So that's why it's I don't put too much thought into it, because it's like I'm not gonna like go on stretch and say, oh, that could be a Bigfoot. I mean, it's
Right.
So, but it is great. You're right. It's a great reference to have, and it's also I look at it too as like something I could maybe sound blast in the future to maybe get something going, because I mean that's like a minute-long clip, if not more, of them just going off, and I mean it's great. I love it. I think everyone thinks it's cool. I've showed my family and stuff, and they think it's cool that I got that, because I think the wolves might be in that too, because some of the howls are a little deep, and you got the wolf, and I think the coyotes are more like high pitched or yipping and stuff, but that's just me.
Yeah, and maybe it's a wolf in the background howling back. I mean, it's hard to say, but maybe it's a Sasquatch too. I mean, we got some clips of that area where something sounds off like a Sasquatch, and then the coyotes flood in, and it is interesting. A lot of people think Sasquatches and coyotes have some type of relationship, whether it's they're a pet or the dog type of relationship, but there's a lot of people witnessing and hearing Bigfoots and then coyotes within the same time frame. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think it's good to have a reference of.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get any howls, unfortunately, that I could use a reference for, but yeah, it's something.
I have some howls that you can use a reference for.
I'll do, you know.
Yeah, I got some coyote clips, actually, some really good ones. They were really close, and sounds just like that. But there's some odd howls mixed in there too.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'll share that to you guys and see what you guys think. I actually was just working on that the other day. So, because we actually did get activity that night. I was over in Ernie's spot. So, all right. Let's play the next one. I did it again. That was the other one.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, what I did is a lot of them have the same video at the beginning, so they kind of look the same on the menu. And the names, like I named them.
Oh, you did.
But it just gives me a number. So here's the next one. Well, that was definitely the P clip.
Yep, that was the P clip.
Very, very distinctive too. I mean, you can hear it, and
Yeah, it got pretty close to it. So, yeah, that one was at 11:45 in the morning. So
Should have been you guys. If it
no.
was in the morning.
No. There's
No.
no way I'm walking a quarter mile in the middle of the woods, take a leak and just head back to camp. At this time, I think I was probably in the tent watching, I think me and my buddies were watching Squid Games on one of our iPads.
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, I mean, it was a great camp trip. I mean, you can't get any better than hunting and then watching Netflix as you go to sleep. I mean, that's probably why I never heard anything outside the tent, because the iPad was fleshing it out. But
yeah, most definitely.
But at the same time, though, I don't mind that either, because then your head starts getting to you when you hear stuff. But yeah, so since we heard all of them, so night 3, the scratches, were at 10:03. That deer running with the grunt was at 11:36. Peeing was actually, and this was what's interesting, the peeing one is actually 10 minutes after the running. So something came back 10 minutes later and took a pee, and then 4:30 in the morning, you got the wood knocks. So that was all one night, all that stuff. Very eventful night.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean,
especially if you didn't hear any of it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. No, I was asleep.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they probably could have been right next to your camp looking at you guys, and you guys wouldn't have never noticed or heard anything watching Netflix. And
No.
That's what they love, when campers and people are distracted.
Yeah, that's why I was telling my buddies. I'm like, no, I mean, act stupid, And there's a couple times we get a little rambunctious, and it was pitch black. You couldn't see anything. I mean, we had a spotlight on the whole night. I usually camp with spotlights because it deters animals from camp. So, but other than that, though, I couldn't see more than 10 feet, in front of me if I didn't have a flashlight. So something could have easily been, 10 yards away, and I would never known about it.
Right.
We got a comedian in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the piss clip.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is close. I mean, it sounds like it's maybe the tree it's hanging on, or the tree next to it it's peeing on.
It definitely got close. Because, I mean, at certain points, you can really hear it walking, and it gets really close. So, yeah, I couldn't tell you what that is. I don't know an animal based off of how it pees, but yeah, I heard it walking, and
I don't think any of us do.
No, but I mean, I hear it walking, and I'm thinking oh, something else walking by, and you hear the stream come out, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is different. Something's marking its territory.
I don't think it's an adult Sasquatch, because I've heard stories that they pee a lot, and it'd probably be very noticeable.
Oh man, that was a steady 1-2 minute stream. I don't even know what else it would be.
It was 2 minutes. Jeez.
No, I'm saying if it was
yeah.
I think it only peed for 5 seconds, maybe, if not less. Well, actually, it peed and it stopped, and it peed again for another 2 seconds. But,
let's play it again. Let's play it again real quick. Yeah, that's close, man.
Yeah,
And it hangs around the spot too.
it does. So it could be
Yep.
anything. I mean, it's I won't say it's a Bigfoot peeing, but I mean it's 10 minutes after that, deer or whatever it was running past it. So it could be anything. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and the fact that he had other stuff happening that night too is interesting. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not even a Sasquatch, but it could be. There's a possibility.
Yeah. It's just that same night, you got the scratching, you got that deer and that grunt, and then you got the pee, and you got the wood knocks. And the wood knocks I think solidify. The wood knocks and I really think is a Bigfoot, or I mean it's a Bigfoot or a human. But the other events leading up to it, it really makes you think. I won't go on record and say it's a Bigfoot, but it's compelling in some way.
Yeah, I think the knocks help. If the knocks weren't even in that audio, I think a lot of people, even myself, would say, yeah, it's an animal. But the knocks, it puts a Sasquatch in the area. So, and they are very curious, and they can pick out equipment. I mean, just like that, they are able to spot stuff out of place. So, I mean, it's possible it's spotted it and it's messing around with it. Might be a juvenile, like William said. It's hard to say. We got a couple more clips, 2 more clips, I think, that we have not heard. So let's go through them and talk about that. Okay, those were the knocks.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the other two, I think one was like something either. I think it was an owl or it might not be.
That's the one that's not working.
Yeah, I mean that one's not. I mean that one's not really the best.
Yeah, the owl one's is not working.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was intriguing though.
I mean, I did too because I can't tell you how many times I have an owl recorded throughout those 3 nights, but like for some reason that one I got, it was like it stood out to me the most, and I was like, I guess I'll save it and see what other people have to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to work on it and bring it up on here before we get off. But what happens in the clip is there's like a whoop or something, and then there's a tree knock, and there's an owl call right after. I mean, right after. I thought it was intriguing. It's definitely a Sasquatch tree knocking. Whether or not the owl is a mimic or actual owl, what's fascinating is it responds to the wood knock.
Yeah.
So let me work on that. Hopefully we can get that going, because I actually did find that pretty intriguing. Because even if it is an owl, why is it reacting to a wood knock?
I mean, I hear tons of people. I've talked to a handful of people personally that say that they really believe that they mimic barred owls and stuff. And then you hear all the time, like on podcasts and stuff where they mimic everything. So I mean, I had no doubt in my mind that they don't do it to maybe cover their tracks. Because I mean, honestly, dude, I got so many barred owl recordings. It's crazy, and it's like, could they be all owls? 100%. But you never know. Maybe a couple of those recordings could have been one of them mimicking them. But there's no way of proving that. They all sounded like barred owls to me, but that one was a little unique.
Yeah, I've heard mimicking. It sounded like a 500-pound owl, and so that one was not. It wasn't doing a good mimic. It sounded like a 500-pound owl.
I mean, they might be out there.
Yeah, I think they do mimic stuff. You're sitting out there you're sitting out there for 24 hours a day, whether, you sleep in somewhat, but they're observing everything. I'm sure they get bored, and mimicking stuff is an easy way to communicate without letting prey or humans know that, you're a Sasquatch. You can mimic other stuff. It sounds like birds and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
But let's play these knocks, because these, I mean, it's amazing because you hear it knock twice, and then the piece of wood just hits the ground, and that says it all. I mean, that one's pretty epic.
I mean, the more I listen to it, the more I realize, how really nice it is. Because, I mean, you could just get two solid knocks, and that could be it. But the fact that you hear that stick just break, something physically got that stick and banged it on something. So, yeah, I mean, I love it. I wish I would have heard that. And actually, you know what? I think I did, but I won't go on record and say I fully did, because I remember even my buddy said something about it when I sent to him. I said, do you remember when you had woken me up and said that you thought you heard tree knocks? And I said, I think I do remember saying that, but I don't 100% recall saying that. But I remember, because this is 4:30 in the morning. So obviously, I usually wake up around 5 every morning for some ungodly reason.
Horrible.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I go back to sleep, but it's just, I don't know why I'm hardwired to do that. But I remember vaguely remember hearing that wood knock with my own ears. But
are you talking about all the time you wake up at that time, even at home?
Yeah, no matter where I'm at, I always wake up at 5 in the morning.
Damn, you got some ghosts at home. We should investigate.
No. No, I don't want to deal with ghosts. But my buddy did mention though that I told him that I heard wood knocks, because I remember I woke up and he was kind of awake. He had to use the bathroom, and I'm like, do you need me to go with you? Because, I was the only real man out there. No one else wanted to do anything besides me.
Aren't you hunting though?
Yeah, my buddy's a good hunter. I mean, he was really the only person that would kill anything, but he's also not a super. I mean, actually, you know what? I won't talk too much badly about him. He went hunting by himself at dusk in that area, and that, to me, took some balls, because, I mean, around dusk is when, a lot of encounters come in, especially from hunters. I mean, there's so many podcasts and stories I've read of hunters. They're coming, they're leaving. It's dusk because you can only hunt till a certain time, and something follows them out of the woods and stuff, or they see something. So, I mean,
whenever it starts to get dark, I start running back to the cabin. So,
yeah. No, he did that, and he came back, and I'm like, see anything, hear anything, get anything? He goes, nope. And he was hunting in the exact area where the recorder was at, because not too far away, probably maybe 100 yards at most, was a trail. It's not being heavily used because of the logging now, but yeah, he was walking that trail, and he wasn't far away from the recorder at all, and that's where all the action was happening. And he didn't, he didn't see or hear anything And that's why I really didn't think I got nothing. Like I really believed I was just gonna listen to silence the whole time, but nope, I got stuff.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, you never know, and
No.
but I think they're everywhere in Michigan. You know, we've had encounters south, southeast Michigan, in places where no one would ever suspect a Bigfoot. Like everyone would say there's no way that they're there, but indeed they're there, and there are actually a number of them. And so I think they're all over the state. If you look at stuff from Val shows it. Like every single county in Michigan has sightings, multiple sightings actually. And there's sightings going all the way back to the 1600s when the French were over here sending messages back to France telling them that there's these tribe of hairy men and stuff here, and they're so there actually is Michigan, and that report from Michigan is one of the oldest actually on record, and Michigan has it's going up like each and every week. Val's getting more reports, but it's over 1,700 reports in Michigan alone.
I don't think mine's on there. Going back to the comment about dusk, I think that's the one me and Bill had the encounter was at dusk.
Yeah.
Or evening, I guess you could say.
Why don't you go into that if you want to?
Nah, we don't gotta talk about that.
All right.
And then the other one I had with the stick man was at noon.
Stick man.
Which I hope it doesn't happen again this year. So.
Yeah, you're gonna go back to that spot and go hunting, right?
I mean, last year nothing happened, but hopefully nothing happens again this year. Except next weekend, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's just coming from a guy who believes there's a monkey in the woods, but I just don't see there being a stick man. I don't know why. I mean, I'd have to physically see that to believe it.
I didn't believe, well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't believe it, but like, I didn't expect to see it,
I'm in no way calling you a liar, but I'm not saying you saw something. I believe it.
I don't know if it was stick man, but it was something weird that I don't even know how to explain. So.
I wouldn't know what to do with my life if I saw something like that in the woods. I don't know if I just stop going in the woods or brush it off.
What I did was stare at it for 5 minutes or so, realize that it was an actual moving thing, and then proceed to get all my crap and walk the quarter mile back to the cabin. No stop.
Oh man. See, I don't know what I do. I mean,
and it didn't look like that, but it had the glowing eyes, which was freaky.
That's probably how skinny the arms were, though, right?
They were a little bit bigger, I think, but they were.
This is a great representation of what I had seen and what I had nicknamed the stick man, because its arms were so skinny, I could break it over my kneecap like a stick. I mean, and this photo might be faked and stuff. I think they all that, but what I seen looks pretty much exactly like this.
I mean, are stickmen or man or whatever? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they technically one of those things that what are those things called? The things that eat people. Like, there's a Native American term.
They could be like the Wendigo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they just basically Wendigos? Or no, or are those two different things?
In some Native American, as they talk about it, it does fit. Others, Wendigos are giants. Sometimes they have antlers and stuff. So the description varies on them. Yeah, the rake. When I encountered this creature, I called it the stick man. This was before the rake term was created. This was before the creepypastas were made. That's why I nicknamed them the stick man. So the rake was not even a concept when I had seen this. And then this picture came out a couple years after my sighting. And there's another video I have that shows a similar creature to this. Let's before we start talking about anything else, let's jump and see if this audio is working now. Hopefully. If not, I'm going to play it on the computer. I'm going to jack it up, and hopefully you can hear it that way too. All right. No. No, I won't even play that one. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I re-uploaded it through the video editor and everything, and it won't do it.
Which one is it? Is it one of the audio ones?
The owl knock. It's the owls and then knock. So I'm gonna play it on the computer. I'm gonna jack the volume way up, and hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me get it ready. It kicked me out of it, so let me give me a second. All right, here we go. So it loads up. All right, here we go. Were you guys able to hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear the knock?
Keep playing once more.
Yeah. All right, how about that?
You need to play it again.
There's a call at the very beginning, and then there's a knock, and then there's a louder response from an owl. So let's take a listen to that again. Let me find exactly where my speakers are in this computer. Oh. All right. Anything? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm listening to it right now on my actual computer as well.
What about you, James? What about the chat? You guys able to hear that? If not, man, I'll figure it out. I'll try to somehow get it. It's weird that all the other clips, I have to take the audio and then I have to put it and just make a video of it to put it on StreamYard. It's weird that that's the only clip that
refuses to work.
Yeah, and it's all set up the exact same way. I did the exact same process. Didn't change anything.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't really pay too much attention to that knock until you really brought it up. Like because now listening to it again, I can hear that, and it's one solid knock, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good solid knock for sure.
I don't remember really hearing that, but I just listened to it again, right off the recording audio, and it's there. It is interesting.
It is. Hey, Jeff Townsend. Glad to see you in chat. Great guy. I think that clip is fascinating because it sounds like an owl at the beginning, and you have that solid knock, bam, and then you have an owl response. It sounds closer to the recorder, so it sounds like two different calls from two different things.
Mm-hmm.
But it responds like right then and there, right after it.
Yeah.
It does sound like an owl for sure. The second one, especially. The first one is a lot farther away. whether it's mimics or not, I don't know. But the knock is not from an owl.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing that. I think in my head I dismissed that knock for like one of the natural gas pumps, but now hearing it again, it doesn't really sound like one of those. After listening to like 24 hours of nighttime stuff, you begin to understand what's what. So, no, that's interesting. I'm kind of irritated it doesn't work because
Yeah,
I
me
don't know
too.
why. I don't know why
Uh,
out of all of them that one refuses to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that all of them they all worked though. I mean, especially the talking one.
Yeah.
But that is it's a good audio clip, and I'm gonna have to work on it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why it's just not doing it. But yeah, I think it was really good actually.
Mm-hmm.
Very definitive knock. Do you have the timestamp on that particular one?
Oh, I know
The
that
owl
one.
calls.
I know that one was actually the first night. I'm trying to look. I believe that one was 2 in the morning. Yeah, I have 2:15 on my notes.
Okay.
So that was actually the first night. So there wasn't really much going on that night besides owl noises.
And that was the first night was when the coyotes happened?
Yeah, that first night was when we listened to that like minute and a half long of the coyotes going off. And the coyotes going off was pretty early on. That was around midnight. Around midnight, I think maybe closer to 1:00.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it really only ramped up, after I started making noises and stuff. Because, night 2 I got that talking, and then night 3 just went off. I mean, all of it's, speculation, but the wood knocks, I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I can tell you damn well it wasn't me. I'm not going out there that early in the morning doing that. Swear on my life.
Right. Yeah, no, we take it very seriously about there is no hoaxing. If I found out someone hoaxed, you're out of the group. It's just like that.
No.
We try to be very professional. What was that?
I thought that was a given.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
Exactly.
You're exiled from the whole community if that happens.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as you find out that you're hoaxing stuff, you're gone. You're out. Your name's you literally have no integrity. And you should be ostracized. You should be exiled. Most definitely.
I really thought I was getting hoaxed when I was listening to this stuff, but the more I think about it, and the more with all the stuff I was doing, it's really important when we go out, when we do this stuff, to really get a lay of the land and see what's out there, because especially when you have a recorder like this going out there. Because honestly, if I would have came across anyone that was camping, or I knew someone was going to be out there like a Bigfooter or something, because obviously people know that area, I would have probably dismissed a lot of this. But the fact that it was just, there was no one besides 3 of us dudes. We'd have ORV guys during the day, but once 6 o'clock hit, it would just go dead, just dead silent. You would hear nothing besides owls and the coyotes. So that's why I don't really think no one was out there intentionally doing this. And plus, I don't know. That area is being really logged right now, so I just don't imagine anyone really being out there that late at night.
Right, and for a person to hoax a Bigfoot researcher, they'd have to know that they're there. They have to sneak around and do all this without being caught, and humans are not quiet in the woods, especially at nighttime. You're crunching, you're making all sorts of noises. If you're not using a flashlight, it's even worse. It's pretty hard to actually go out in the woods and actually hoax someone being very close to someone. If you're a mile away and doing calls and stuff, that's one thing. But to go up to someone's recorder and to find it, and then start doing all this stuff, it's very slim chances, almost zero.
Yeah, I mean, I intentionally camped, a mile or two away from where we normally would probably lurk around, just because I didn't want anything contaminating, and no one ended up ever being out there, but it just validates what I got. And
Yeah,
I'm grateful. I mean, I love it. I'm speechless. The stuff I got, I really like. I'm really proud of what the audio thing I made. I mean, I'll say this right now. It's not my idea. I got off of someone. I can't think of his name. I know it's Charles something. He's out of Virginia. He actually created that thing, but he's open about it with everyone, and he gives instructions on how to make it. But I mean, that thing's worth every dime I put into it, and it's gonna go out with me every time now.
Yeah, it's proven itself, and it's waterproof and all that. It is. It's good. It's good design. Clearly, it works. Clearly, it's not muffled by the shell, the casing of the waterproof housing.
Yeah, which I was surprised. I really thought the audio would be all messed up, but no, it didn't. You actually get some clips of rain, because it rained like every night we were there for like an hour, and the rain really didn't have an impact on the audio. Like, you could hear everything else. You could hear the tap, 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 but you heard everything else clearly too, which I was really surprised. So even if it's raining, somebody wants to make noise, I'm gonna get it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we, I think this year, it's not over yet, but this year has been pretty amazing, actually. One of the best years I've personally ever had. And with, start having the group and stuff, we actually got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Over this past year, and it's not over with.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out to Karen Arnold from Bigfoot Odyssey and the 168. That's going to be the first documentary is dropping tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and you guys are going to see some Lost Cryptid work being done in there, and some of the evidence, probably the best evidence to date of actual red eye glow that I actually did capture.
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry.
I filmed actual red eye glow in the woods of Florida.
Oh, Florida. Okay, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yes, in Florida.
I don't remember hearing this.
It's going to be in the documentary. It's one eyeball, and we'll be doing a.
Do you think it was angry?
I don't know.
Did you feel
I don't want to talk about
like
too much because there's a lot to
I'm just
explain.
Saying, did you feel anything weird about it or no?
No, it scared me. You can hear it in my voice. I'm just like, I start breathing more and stuff. It's like, holy crap. It was very unexpected. And it's definitely about 8 foot off the ground at least. I got the clip ready to go. I ain't going to show it now. I'm not going to spoil it. I think we're not going to do a show tomorrow night talking about, but next Saturday, Friday or Saturday, I'll have the clip loaded. We're going to show it here. We're going to talk about it. And I really think that it's going to open a lot of people's eyes that, in fact, that they do this. I mean, it's pretty good clip. So yeah, you guys want to watch the Bigfoot Odyssey documentary? It's coming up tomorrow. I think there might be a few other clips of evidence, or it might be saved for the second one because there's a part 2 coming out. And I did film something crossing the road on all fours, and it did actually turn and look at me with its head, and could be a possible juvenile Sasquatch.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh man, seeing it freaked me out. Seeing it was so unnatural looking, and the way it moved. But yeah, we got it on film. It's not the clearest or anything, but you can definitely see something did cross the road right there.
Bet
Or the
Tyler
trail.
wants to go to Florida now.
Man, I mean, I would love to go everywhere in Squatch. That's like my bucket list. I mean, I've been to Florida. It's not really a paradise, in my opinion, but I wouldn't mind squatching there.
I'm okay going everywhere but Florida, just because I don't really like.
Well, I mean, if you guys want to go, I can try
crocodiles.
to. I can try to, I'll put a good word in for you, and maybe. That's all I can say is maybe.
Yeah, but isn't the next one happening soon though? So
there's no date on it yet. I think the plan is for about the same time frame as last year, but it just depends on Kerry's work, whether or not he can do it at that time or not. So
Yeah.
it is going to be happening. Just don't know when yet.
I think Florida's a great place. Every time, it's just so hot down there.
yeah, that too.
I mean, I grew
not
up in that
Michigan.
crap. It sucks.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. It's very hot.
And the mosquitoes are bad.
Oh my!
Everything's poisonous down there.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
the
like being in
environment for
Australia.
Sasquatch is radical. It's totally different than Michigan, and I definitely see them on all fours a lot more down there, because some of the vegetation isn't too big, and to be in some of these shady spots, they're called palm fronds or something.
Mm-hmm.
They're just bushes that can slice you up and stuff. But if you crawl into them, their trunks grow all wiggly and stuff. To be in the shade, if you're in an open spot like that, you got to crawl right up into it. And we found some of them that had like holes, looked like holes dug out, or a place where a person could easily hide out in, for sure. But yeah, everyone hopefully watch that. I'll be watching that as soon as it drops and premieres. Probably be in the chat. I'll be watching on the big screen and being on chat with the phone.
Is he posting that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Of course, I'll be at work. Never cease to amaze me.
You watch it when you get home.
I mean, I could, or I could watch it while I'm at work. One of the two. We'll see.
Yeah.
Man.
But it's gonna be some great stuff, some great evidence, and I can't wait to show it up on here and make some videos on it and explaining exactly what's going on in that clip. And I'm excited. Everyone who went, all the people from all across the country, put in the work and did good. It was awesome having all those people
there?
and meeting all those people. And what's up?
Who's clicking there? I heard like a bunch of clicks in a row.
I don't know. Not me.
Is that Tyler? Tyler, what you doing there, Tyler?
Doing my thing.
Yeah, that's what we pretty much do on the woods. We just do our thing, and sometimes stuff happens, sometimes it doesn't.
I tell people it's just like it's my like side hustle in the woods. Like I go out there and camp, and on the side I do some Bigfoot stuff, and something happens, something doesn't happen. Well, I'm camping, so that's good with me.
Yeah, exactly. I think like I said, we got pretty successful this year, and it's not over with, and we're still getting stuff. As you guys can see, this is like the most recent stuff that a members got. Tyler got.
Yeah, this was like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's extremely recent, and
technically he wasn't trying to get the evidence; he just was hoping.
I was
Right.
I was praying. I was like, please, just something, and I got something. Thank God. Because I really thought I wasted money in making that recorder. I'm like, man, I just wasted like $300 on this, and like now I'm like, oh, it's totally worth it. I might just make another one and do what I wanted to do originally, and put like one in like different parts of the state and then just leave it out there for 2 weeks because that thing could realistically record for 2 weeks. I've tested
But then
it
you have to
out.
go through all that.
I
All of it.
I went through 3 nights in like a day, so I mean, I get pretty committed to it easily.
I mean, you have to sit there and go through all the audio. I mean, you have to be pretty committed to do this.
Yeah.
And I think we are. I think we got a good group of committed people, and we take it very seriously. This is not just like, a little hobby that we do. And I take it pretty seriously. I think everyone else takes it seriously.
I do, yeah. I mean, once you're this far in the rabbit hole, there's no getting out of it.
Well, we can go deeper.
I mean, we could, but I got a job.
And I got some. I've been looking at some spots. I shot James a spot for you guys to go check out because you guys are pretty close to the area.
Yeah, we were trying to go Tuesday, but it didn't work out. Tyler got sick.
I think James got sick and ruined it.
And there's some other spots around the state that is very interesting, and I highly feel that they're definitely there.
So now we're aiming for after hunting season, or at least rifles, so we don't get shot.
We'll still go out there. I mean, I don't care as long as as long as you're wearing orange, you shouldn't get shot. But I mean, if they shoot at me, I'm going to shoot at them.
But people are dumb.
Well, next year for sure, but this year I don't even think I'm going to be able to go hunting, which really sucks. But hey, it happens. I'm going to go small game hunting, sooner or later. I know that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do the gun hunt with the deer this year. But next year, I was thinking about deer camp and going hunting and just bigfooting on the side.
That's what I did, and look what happened.
Exactly. Plus, it'd be cool to actually get a deer and actually have a deer camp and do all that fun stuff there too, and have some venison. I mean, I go out during deer season. I usually wait the first week. But like in archery season, when archery starts, I wait about 2 weeks and then I go out.
Yeah.
If most archery people, they get their deer within the first week or two. And in gun season, even if you don't go out, it's only 2 weeks for November. Then you got another 2 weeks in January for antlerless. So yeah, we're gonna go out, and I plan on going out in the winter. Hopefully, you guys are gonna go camping and stuff with me. We'll be set up nice.
Yeah, if I got time, I will.
Do some bush crafting type of shelters and survival. Well, another thing is practicing survival is going out there and actually camping in the middle of winter. I mean, a lot of people do it, and it's always fascinating to me. So why not? And plus, we get activity, possibly find tracks, can follow those tracks. I mean, get a lot, hopefully, good evidence. But do some of that, and we got some places to go for sure.
Well, I really want to. Next year really capitalize on springtime because this year I didn't. I really waited.
Yeah,
after
same here.
Spring. I just got busy with school, And
Exactly, me too.
Yeah, well, life happens. I mean, I got 3 kids, and I think this time last year, my son just got out of the hospital. He had surgery on Halloween last year, and so he was in recovery. This past 2 months, I've had car trouble, and my girlfriend was in the hospital. The kids are sick, so I get out when I can, and usually it's like the day of I find out, I can go out for a couple hours. So it's like, not enough time to organize a camp out and stuff. But
no, it's hard. I almost got to do it like a couple months in advance. I mean, that hunt trip I went on, I planned that in like August, I think, maybe September. So it was. Because you got to sometimes.
Yeah, you have to, and life happens and comes first for sure. And when you guys start having your kids and stuff, you're gonna find out you got obligations and you can't always go. So
I'm scheduling that for at least 10 years.
but I got a 5-year plan. 5 years. My youngest is gonna be 7, and it'll be a perfect age to take them out, go camping.
Jeez.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm just gonna take mine. Like, train them young.
Yeah, well, get them used to the outdoors, having fun camping. Maybe not even go bigfooting, but being outdoors, teaching your kids to be aware of stuff, and not stuck inside and stuck on video games all day.
Yeah.
Hey.
You gotta program them. I'm okay at video games. Every now and then.
I got no issues with video games, boys. But
me and Tyler, the gamers of the group.
Yeah, I dabble a little bit here and there.
I dabble a little bit too. So you're not the only ones. But I tell you what, my kids are getting older. They're taking over the game systems, and it's like, oh, and I got to play with them and teach them how to play. So it's actually pretty cool, pretty fun. But yeah, right now, 3 little kids, it time consuming. They take up all the time, and when they're teenagers, man, we're gonna have some good members coming along. So, and then I won't have any excuse because I just take the whole family.
There you go.
Yeah, my girlfriend's actually getting into. She actually does want to go camping, and so we're gonna be trying tent camping. I think next year with everyone. So it's gonna be interesting because
hopefully Bigfoot doesn't sneak into your camp and scare everybody.
She doesn't. She does believe it. She's seen stuff.
Well, no. I'm just your kid if your kid's there.
Oh no! If something happened, man, I'd turn into Rambo and I would slaughter everything.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
So that's not a good idea for that to happen.
Yeah.
I'd become pro kill very fast.
I mean, I'm pro kill to begin with. I mean, that's the only way we're gonna do this. I might not actively shoot one if I see one, but I mean, like, if that thing's coming at me or it gets too close, that gun I have strapped to my chest is going to be used.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would only shoot one in defensive purposes. Only. I mean, if I had the opportunity to shoot one, and I did up north, it would have been a very bad idea because there was about, at least 3, maybe 4 around us, but I would only protect myself and those around me. But if something happened to my kids, I would light the forest on fire and I would be slaughtering everything. I wouldn't even care at that point.
You would hit up all your Bigfoot researchers and say, "Let's go get them."
I'd go out there by myself. I wouldn't even care at that point. And that's probably how they are. If you hurt one of their family members, especially the kid, I mean, just like any normal person or any other animal, really. I mean, our instincts kick in, and we actually, will go to war and fight.
I mean, that's reported. I've read it about people shooting one, and the next thing you know, you got 3 of them surrounding you.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think I'd shoot one either unless it comes at me. So, as much as I'd love to prove them and make my efforts worthwhile, I'm not gonna just snipe one out of a tree when I see it walking by.
Take a picture of it; it'll last longer.
Well, pictures. Yeah, well,
or a video. A video is more easily able to, prove.
Well, plus, in the government would come and take the body away from you.
Yeah.
There's many reports of that happening. I honestly think that the way we're going to get good evidence is being friendly. You attract more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. I think it's the same way. The more better open interactions, the good interactions, our positive attitude, the way we carry ourselves in the woods, and really is respect. Up in the UP, when I had my encounter with Jason Kenzie, when they showed themselves to us, I had the gun, and I was pointing at their direction because we heard rustling, we thought it was a bear. So I had that gun pointed so fast. As soon as I realized it was a Sasquatch, I put it back, and then they showed themselves. And so there's a type of respect thing, and that's why I think you should be armed, because they should have respect for you, that there's a potential that they could get hurt. There's that respect. It's going to help keep some boundaries, but I think respect goes a long ways. When you don't freak out to what's going on, you don't point your gun and start shooting at everything you start hearing, and you carry yourself a certain way, I think they actually will respect that and get it more open to you. Instead of being all crazy and doing this and that and pointing your gun and start shooting at stuff that you hear, which you don't even know what it is, they're going to think that you're a loose cannon. And why would they ever want to go up next to you or interact with you when all they think is that you're going to shoot them?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think we're going to get some good interaction this next year. Some of these spots, I think that they recognize people for sure. And the more times we go, the more respect and how we carry ourselves, it's going to show. They're going to probably be more open to us compared to other people who are, out there drunk and waving guns around and acting foolish and screaming and doing all sorts of dumb stuff. They're probably not going to feel good about it.
I agree. Well, I think the commotion draws them in, but yeah, I don't think.
Well, yeah,
I don't think shooting guns and stuff necessarily brings them in. But then again, I got all that evidence in the middle of small game season. There's guns going off throughout the day, not at night, but I don't know. I think they pick their wars.
They like to observe, probably too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They know where the hunters go. They know where the best spots where hunters don't go. And it's typically on private property that doesn't get hunted, closer to houses, closer to roads, because you can't shoot towards a road. You can't shoot towards a house.
Nope.
So yeah, I think you did an awesome job getting those audios. I mean, you got lucky, but I mean, obviously, you built your housing for the recorder. It worked great.
It did.
And so yeah, awesome job, man. I think it's really good audio, and that talking. I mean, that's some good stuff. Some of the best stuff out there for sure.
I know. I honestly, and I haven't heard another piece of audio besides like Ron Moorhead that that has that type of like talking, and unless like people aren't just like releasing it out there. So I don't know. It's definitely not like the best out there, but I mean it's something, and I haven't seen anyone else post something like that. So besides Ron, of course, it's definitely going to be awesome to keep.
Yeah, it reminded me of getting yelled at. It sounded, similar. It wasn't yelling in your audio, but that mumbling, that samurai chat or whatever it is, it's a type of language, and it's not just regular animal grunts and communication, but it's actual language. So I mean, great job, man. Hats off to you for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Should have been here last week, Tyler. Last time, Tyler. We went real far into the rabbit hole.
I could tell it was like a 4-hour show.
Yeah, that was our longest one.
We set the record. Yep, 4 hours.
Oh.
My girlfriend was not happy after that, but oh well. She's okay now.
We were like, I don't know how far we were. I think we were like 3 hours and 45 minutes in, and we're about to give up. I was like, come on, we can do it 15 more minutes.
I think I worked and then right to bed.
That was right when the time thing happened where we went back an hour, so it didn't feel like it was that long. Because it would have been like 4 a.m. instead of 3.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I was in Kalamazoo. I was partying in a Western University that day. Yes, that's what I was doing. I was doing very important stuff.
Must have been nice.
Yeah, it was. It was.
All right. Well, let's take some questions from the chat. If you guys have any questions about anything, doesn't have to be about the audio you guys heard today. Let's get some questions going, and if not, I think we'll probably shut the stream down a little bit. I got some stuff to do around the house, so
Yeah, you got to go to bed early this time.
no, I don't got to go to bed early this time, but I got to move around some stuff, and I got to put together a bed frame for the little ones, and
At 2
we're
a.m.
switching rooms and stuff, so I got to finish moving the stuff out of this room into the main room. And
when else would you do it, James?
In the morning, like a normal person.
I mean,
now I got to get this done. Kids' grandpa's coming. He should actually be here like any time now. He's a funny guy. Yeah, so let's get some questions going on. And
do you have any paranormal things happen to you, Tyler?
I mean, I've had a couple weird things happen in my house.
Recently?
No, I mean, I don't know. I think I think my sister likes to play games with me, but I don't think my house is haunted. But officially, I don't think I've had anything weird happen. I don't like the ghost stuff. I don't. There's two things that I don't like messing with, and that's dog man, and that's paranormal stuff. I don't like dabbling into that stuff. It just gets real creepy, and I prefer the hairy monkey in the woods. I'll take that over anything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You might come across dog man. I mean, they're down here. If they're down here, they're all the way up through the north for sure.
And I'm telling you, not 80% of the reason why I have a AR pistol strapped to my chest is because of that thing.
Well, I tell you what, if it never got up on two legs, I would have just thought it was a wolf. It didn't look freakish. It didn't look like anything else other than a wolf on four legs, and until it stood up and ran, then it was, holy crap! This is what people are calling dog man.
All right, we got a question from Pyromedic. He's asking, "What does your grandpa think on the subject?"
Yeah, he really doesn't believe, but he's open minded about it. He kind of jokes about it.
Has he ever had anything from his childhood or anything like stories?
Not Bigfoot wise. He might have a ghost story or two. My girlfriend actually has a number of ghost stories. She actually has something attached to her. She's pretty convinced.
She hasn't got rid of it yet?
Too. Huh?
Does she think it's bad or good?
I mean, I think it's all bad.
Oh.
But it's up in the air.
I mean, if she has something attached to her, she should probably go somewhere to get it removed.
Yeah, she's not going to. She thinks, she's like, we don't mess with it because it's going to make it angry and it's going to mess with me more. So
okay.
I've done stuff. I prayed. We saged the old house one time, and she's like, it made it mad and stuff. So
I think I have something attached to me too, but I think it's good because I haven't had anything horrible happen.
She actually has pictures of a little boy
attached
in the hallway.
Well, I wouldn't say
No.
attached. No, to me. I'm saying I wouldn't say I have something attached to me, but if something definitely follows me, like a guardian angel or something.
Right.
Because I always feel like cold spots everywhere I go. I don't know. But nothing really happens.
Yeah, it's just too hard to determine if it's a ghost of a person or it's a demonic entity that's tricking you to think that it's a ghost. And so that's why I really don't get into that, because it can lead you down a dark rabbit hole, And my girlfriend actually has pictures of, I wanted her to come on and talk about some of the stuff, she's experienced, and she said, she will one day. She actually has pictures of a little boy in the hallway, a little face, shadow person in the hallway. She one time, she was pregnant with her daughter. She woke up with a huge handprint on her stomach, like someone just smacked her, leaving a huge welt. She has pictures of that, and it's a handprint on her stomach or baby bump or whatever.
I don't think I've ever been like inflicted by anything.
Well, she didn't feel it or
but...
anything. She just woke up and it was there.
Well, yeah, but
I'd move out.
it's not that bad. Come on now.
She's been in other houses where she's got locked in a room for hours and she could not open the door. And when she finally got out, someone else went in and the door's working just fine. Never happened since.
That's a little weird. So
she's woken up in houses where there's something over her breathing on her, and it's freaks her out because she hears it. It's right over her. She's been grabbed at nighttime. Her foot's been grabbed. She
not
has
to
felt the blanket's been moved. I think she even said it shook the bed one time.
Not to alarm you, but there's a cold spot right around me right now.
It's the chill.
What's your little app saying and stuff?
I just turned it on.
Ghost app.
I didn't have it running the whole time. I probably should have. It hasn't said anything though. I just turned it on.
Okay. And Pyromedic, yeah, he's a city slicker. Grandpa's a city slicker for sure. He's a crazy guy. He's funny and stuff, but no, he's never goes in the woods and stuff.
Yeah, it's happening like right around here.
Oof. I used to be into that when I was younger. Growing up, I was into everything. Aliens, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, ghosts. But after learning that there's demonic entities that try to trick you, like they're ghosts, don't mess with it. It says in the Bible not to really mess with that stuff. And
I'm not really religious, but yeah.
Well, they say we're gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Oh no.
Those demonic entities are demons, right? Or they're fallen angel demonic entities, or they're Nephilim spirits. And some say that they're so old that they've been there for centuries, and now you built your house there, right on top of the thing, and it's a long, deep rabbit hole for a whole nother show to get into. But demonic entities, when people say that, they believe, oh yeah, ghosts for sure, demonic entities, yes. But then you go say, well, what if aliens are demonic entities? Because there's in fact witnesses who say they call out Jesus' name and they pray, and those aliens leave, they go away. Now, if aliens are aliens, that should not affect them, right?
Should, yeah. You
would think, don't they have their own God and their own beliefs and stuff? Why would saying the name of Jesus scare them? There's another one where the dude was getting abducted or something. He started praying, and there was a huge lying roar, and it scared the aliens really bad, and they all ran through the wall and disappeared. And what he thought was was the Lion of Judah, of Jesus, the lion's roar. There's a lot of stories like that, and it just doesn't make me think that they're alien. Some of them seem very demonic. So that's a deep rabbit hole we can get into in another
just
show.
Like the Freemasons is another rabbit hole.
Yeah, the elites in the secret societies from ancient times until now, and Yeah, that's real stuff. I mean, there is actual evidence and documentations, books written by those people. They say that Hollywood is infested with those kind of people, and some say that to be famous, you gotta join and do all sorts of crazy, nasty,
Actually, hold up.
demeaning
Keep
stuff.
talking. Let me try something here.
I mean, you know what? You really want to get into it, all you have to do is Google celebrity, all-seeing eye, or celebrity, one eye stuff, and you will be flooded with dozens and dozens of photos of celebrities, doing the one eye, and it's all the same. It's not the same photographer taking the same photo with, all these celebrities and, oh yeah, do this, it's really cool. It's an awesome pose, You have dozens and dozens and dozens of photos of these celebrities doing that.
It's crazy.
I have one of these.
What is that, James?
It's one of those EMF meters.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm seeing if I can pick up anything.
You might pick up something from your electrical.
Yeah, I know. That's the one
in the house.
with it.
But in the field, that is awesome to use because of if we're getting activity, be able to check out the readings and.
Oh, that'd be
maybe,
trippy. Yeah, if we're in the woods and that thing starts going off.
You got to be careful because there could be natural stuff happening too, but it might be able to pick up frequencies that are maybe from a Bigfoot. Maybe if it's infrasound or something. If it is infrasound, if it's more electrical in nature, that should pick it up.
I'm actually picking up something right now. Now, whether I know what it is questionable. Because now it's gone. Now it flatlined.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a reading, I'm sure if you stuck it next to the computer, you'll get a small reading. If you stick it next to the outlet, you'll definitely get a small reading. If you have flowing water and stuff, and through certain rocks, that'll probably get a reading too.
Oh yeah, over by my computer, it's really high. But when I was over here, like there's nothing over here, and it was just picking something up. So I don't know.
A lot of experimentation needs to happen with that for sure.
So we had people in the chat talking. Actually, Facebook to be exact.
Yeah, I see that.
It's William.
I can't show the whole.
What? Oh.
There's more than just Bigfoot in the world. There's power in the name of Jesus. I've experienced calling on Jesus to save me from the Carter Farm Bigfoot named Blackie, and I'm still here because of it. Some say Blackie. Some think Blackie might be demonically possessed, or Janice Carter and I believe Bigfoots can have mental health issues and problems, as with people. That's actually a good point. Is mental health with these things? I'm sure they have to deal with a lot with us humans and being pressured and losing land and contaminating water and disrupting hunts and stuff. I'm sure that makes probably a lot of them not like us.
No.
And mental health issues, yeah, if they're really smart and stuff, they could be bipolar. I mean, who knows? But I think if they're really bad, or even maybe severely mentally handicapped, unless the other family is really taking care of it, I think they might dispose of it, because those individuals are not going to follow the rules. Let's say the rules of being a Bigfoot and how to act and how to do things without being caught, because their mental capacity is diminished and they're all over the place. So, I mean, that's a good question is what do they do if they have a severely mentally handicapped Bigfoot? I mean, do they, dispose of it?
Yeah, who knows? Or they just abolish it from the group and say good luck.
I would say just abandon it. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, some people
Human culture.
I've heard people say, when they see like a handful of people, like when you read stuff or listen to like podcasts, they'll say like the face looked like it had Down syndrome or something. I've heard it multiple times. So I don't know if that's maybe just something across the board or, they can get like, issues that, we have sometimes in our society, people with Down syndrome. So, yeah, who knows?
Maybe. If that is happening and they are taking care of that individual, it actually shows even more intelligence because they're showing empathy and they're taking care of an individual, that hinders them. And so it actually would make them show more intelligence and more emotional intelligence too, because to feel empathy for some other thing, it takes a lot of intelligence actually.
Oh, yeah.
So, who knows?
So what I was gonna say earlier is the reason I don't think it's like demonic or anything is because there's where I've lived. This area right here was a farm at once. Like this whole area within, that's what I've heard. At least the whole area around me was like a farm at one point. And even the people that are neighbors me that way have had ghost stuff happen over there. Like farmer, they've heard pig sounds, cows, and other weird stuff just happened over there. And then there was someone that used to live here that I think died on the property as well, the last owners of this house. And then the next door neighbors over there, they're both dead already. One, I'm not sure if they died in the house, but they lived there for like a long time. So it could just be, them, I guess. Maybe not something
like
demonic.
Was it residual haunting or something?
Yeah, something like that.
An echo in time, left in time.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll hope.
Well, I mean, go back farther than that. You have Native Americans for thousands of years, battling and killing each other and dying and stuff. I mean, who knows?
I found an arrowhead on this property before, so it's possible.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the natives were everywhere in Michigan. And Michigan, I think I've told this before a few times, but the three main tribes of Michigan, when they came to Michigan, they exterminated another type of people that were here. And they have a few names for them, but roughly translates to like prairie people.
I've
from
heard that.
The Ottawa's name.
Actually, wait, isn't there someone in chat that I saw that had that name? Prairie Fire.
Pyromedic, yeah.
No, there's another guy that said Prairie Fire was his name.
Oh. They said that they built these mounds and they built the stone gardens is what they're called here. When they died, their spirits remained at those places and would haunt those who would come to those places. So there's a lot of history of Michigan, and North America. Just like the 4-hour episode we had, we go through this and talk about all of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff that the government doesn't want us to know. There's a lot of stuff hidden. There's a lot of stuff that will never come to light. I think there's definitely a bigger picture going on that we're not getting and we don't know.
Oh, we lost Tyler. Maybe he said he had to leave. What did he say? He said, "Be right back."
Okay. So, yeah, there's just so much stuff. Then they're always finding new stuff each and every year, new discoveries, new ancient stuff, new hominins that they're finding, that are not Homo sapiens, but they're not Bigfoot. They're another type of hominin, modern type of not modern humans, but more modern than apes, and they're finding all sorts of stuff. I've heard some people say that there's a difference in the temperament of northern Bigfoot and southern Bigfoot. The ones here in the south being more violent. I think Michigan is they're not too aggressive, but there's a lot of missing people in Michigan, and we do have reports in Michigan of them killing people. There's actual reports of them killing people. There's actually reports from Michigan of them grabbing men, carrying 2 men underneath their arms.
Like, not. I think the report was military men too.
This was like from the 1950s. I
I
think.
thought you were talking about the recent one. Okay.
The recent one of the guy getting dragged into the woods.
No.
In Val's group.
No, I thought you said there was one where 2 military people got dragged away, or something like that.
I don't know. Not ringing a bell.
What was that? Oh, his internet went out.
Yeah, I got that message. Maybe Tyler will be back on. Maybe he won't.
Do you want to keep going, or do you have to go do something?
We'll go 3 hours.
Okay.
The Cherokee have a story about fighting pale giants along the East Coast that lived in stone houses. Maybe, or they might be the actual giants. A lot of Native Americans have stories, ancient stories of these red-headed and black-haired giants who would eat them. And they were not described as Bigfoot. And some of these more ancient stories talk about they built fortresses on top of from the Appalachia all the way to the West Coast. And just like the mounds and the copper that is found in Michigan, some of these giants had copper armor, they had copper axes, and more civilized. They had jewelry, way more civilized than Bigfoot. So they might be a total different thing. Another legend from the Cherokee and of Appalachia is the Cherokee went to war with a people called the Moon People. And the Moon People were cave dwellers. From what I gather, they were not human. They weren't Bigfoot. They're more human-like, but they were kind of they grew up in the darkness, so the sunlight would blind them, and even the full moon would severely handicap them. So the Cherokee actually, during a full moon, and this is many years, they went to war with these people. And there's one story of during a full moon, they started to exterminate the Moon People, and then they gathered them into a cave, and they lit the cave on fire, and smoking them out, and they exterminated whatever the kind of people they are. They were called the Moon People, and they were another race of beings, humanoid type of creature. So there's a number of legends about that.
Tyler said he's trying to come back, but his Wi-Fi won't pop up even.
All right. Well, I've had that happen too. I've had my signal jammed many times. Not recently, thank goodness, but there's been times where it's like I'm ready to go, everything's working, and I go to start the stream and I can't. And my signal's being jammed. There's been times where I was able to come on here, and I think you guys took over and we're hosting. I could come on here and I could, play videos. I could play the intro, but I physically could not put my camera on to actually come on like I am now. I was stuck in the background.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it happens. There's a reason why the government keeps this hush hush, and there's a reason why they're keeping tabs on people. And it's been revealed that there are actual government agents in the Bigfoot community monitoring the situation. They're in groups, and even if you're retired, you're still surveilled and monitored, and any activity that you do, they're gonna know about. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So, there's a reason why they're so invested into this, and there's a reason why they're invested into researchers. It must be more than. There's more to this puzzle than a hairy ape out in the woods of North America. There must be a lot more to it. Yeah.
Where I research, it's called Cherokee National Forest. Do you know where that's at?
I think that's Tennessee. Maybe Kentucky. I think it's Tennessee. It's around there. It might be. I don't know. I don't know exactly where that's at.
He said Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, thought so. It's a great place. I driving through there, it's a lot of ridges, a lot of the Appalachian Mountain Range is through there, and it's pretty squatchy, man. It's definitely squatchy. I can definitely see them going up one hill after another, and they're out there. So.
Hold up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to pop up in the background. But
he said that his area's internet just crashes for an hour sometimes.
That happens, and we were going to shut down the show anyway, so it's
he wanted to come back before we ended it. Hold on.
No, I'm glad he came on and got some awesome, amazing audio. Actually, we actually went through it all. It's definitely, especially the talking, the samurai chatter, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely some of the best stuff from Michigan.
That was kind of like a. Did you get the audio that Robert Kreider had from his thing when they were talking in the swamp? There was something talking in the swamp from up north.
No. I think the audio that I sent you, I don't even know if that's from his dish, or I think that might be my recorder. It might
be your recorder. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah,
do you have?
No, I think we actually had a mix-up, so I didn't get any stuff of his dish because we were downloading stuff, and even he just did a podcast and he said the same thing that it got mixed up. So,
so who has the dish audio?
Robert.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna look through it. He posted one thing, and
he said he's gonna try joining off his phone, like I just told him to.
All right.
Just so he can end it with us.
Yeah, no problem. We'll wait a little bit for him.
Because I wanted to talk to him afterwards.
I think Grandpa might be here now.
Oh, really? We went too late.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's not my dad. It's her dad. It's her dad.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Oh, and going back to the temperament thing. I think in Michigan they're more patient because we have them. A lot of them, especially in southern Michigan, they're right up next to houses, suburbs, cities. It's not a wilderness area. They have to be very patient with people and not be aggressive, so they're not hunted down and killed and stuff. In the South, seems like they're more aggressive because they're hot. They're a little bit too hot all the time, and I know I'd get cranky. And Southerners typically, you hear, they shoot first and ask questions later. So maybe that has something to do with it too.
That too, probably.
But we have incidences of them actually killing people, kidnapping people here in Michigan. So they're not a friendly force giant. They're probably individualistic, and some might actually just hate people, like really hate people. And if they can get away with it, they might take you. Others, I think, are more open and more curious, and maybe not like people, but more open to a better relationship. So I just figured the ones here, if they kidnap a person, a search and rescue is going to be coming into the area. It's just not good for them. So I think they've learned to wait people out, scare people out of the woods, and not attack people. But there are certainly attacks in Michigan, very violent, very graphic attacks, and there are a crap load of missing people. I mean, a crap load. We actually have a cluster for sure, and actually 2 clusters from missing 411, David Pilates. He has 2, and then there's just some smaller clusters of missing people that I've researched and discovered that, every couple of years there's certain spots where people go missing. And I tell my girlfriend all the time, if I don't come back, something happened to me, and you need to call this person. You need to get hold of these people, because they're the ones who know what's up, and they're going to go out there and come find me.
Do you tell your girlfriend like exact spots where you go, just so people
No,
know?
I mean, I give her a general area, and sometimes
you should tell her exactly where you're at.
I just say, hey, I'm going in this spot. I'm going here. I might wander over here. I might be way over here. I don't know. But yeah, if something happens, she's gonna I tell her to get a hold of Val, because Val is a guy who knows a lot of people who can get stuff moving pretty fast.
What do you mean, like get stuff moving?
Yeah, he's he has a lot of connections. He's ex-law enforcement for 25 years. And,
yeah, what's he gonna do? That's what I'm trying to say.
He's gonna make some phone calls, and he's gonna make law enforcement and whoever else come look for me.
Oh, okay.
No, he has a lot of yeah, let's just say he knows a lot of people and can make stuff happen if need be. But
it doesn't look like Tyler's gonna be able to come back. He said since he has data only on, it's taking forever to load.
That's okay, man.
He said, "Am I in right now?" So check and see if he's in the room.
Nope, he's not in. Well, that's okay. We'll have him back on. He can host the show anytime, really.
He's not backstage.
He's not backstage. No. He is not.
I guess you maybe give it a minute or two, or the grandpa's.
Yeah, give a little longer.
Grandpa's not there yet, is he?
I didn't hear the door open, so no.
Oh, he's just gonna walk through the door.
No, we have unlocked for him and stuff.
Well,
I think my girlfriend's still probably up. She might have went to bed.
The crack addict could come back,
That would not be good for him. I already told the cop he's going to leave in a body bag. And the cop said, do what you need to do. And I told that guy the same thing. So
yeah, just
it'd be not wise if he comes back to my house.
Yeah, just film it. Anything, basically. So, it's...
Yeah, you want to get the evidence of this dude refusing to leave your house. And then you can...
Yeah.
I could have done whatever I wanted to him. And oh, geez.
What?
Oh, nothing.
Making sure it wasn't who you thought it was.
No, I'm gonna have to get off the stream here pretty soon.
All right.
But
we'll just talk next time then. It's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, no, that's all right. No, that guy, yeah, that guy coming into the house like that, unlawful entry is what he got charged with.
Yeah.
I've been in a number of fights in my life, and I've dealt with drunk people a number of times, and when you get in a fight with someone and you are choking the life out of them, and you see that their life is leaving their body, there's certain ways to handle situations, and if you don't really need to take a person out, then you probably shouldn't. And it comes with experience and with strength and using your brain. So yeah, that guy is still alive because I know what I was doing, and
because you felt bad, maybe. Maybe.
Well, when you grow up, you fall in love with the warrior philosophy, and you study kung fu, and you study how to fight, and you study how to do all this. It definitely helps, but there's a certain time and place to do certain things, and I didn't feel the need to totally take the guy out because he wasn't really that much of a threat. Now, if he pulled a knife out on me or did something stupid, or if he was really fighting back a lot more, I could have done everything and I wouldn't have really got in trouble. So, but having control is the number one thing you need to have in a fight, is control yourself. You'll see a lot of fights when person's on the ground knocked out and then someone's still beating on them. That's not control. So,
all right. Wow. Do you want?
But that's another show we can get into.
Yeah, looks like Tyler's still having problems, so we'll just have to.
Yeah, I got to get going. It is time. I'm getting my better half is giving me the look. I got to get off, guys. So, So thanks for everyone for watching, sticking out through this 3-hour live stream. Really appreciate it. Go back and listen to some of these audios and stuff. It's really good stuff. Some of the best stuff I've heard from Michigan, definitely. And it's very comparable. The Samurai Chatter is very comparable to Ron Moorhead, Samurai Chatter, the Sierra Sounds. And most people who hear the Sierra Sounds don't realize it's actually a huge clip with a lot going on. And so James, you gotta take a listen at it. You gotta research Ron Moorhead.
All right, I'll look it up right now. Hold up.
I will have him on the show at some point. I actually met him at West Branch. I got his card. I can just need to contact him and set it up. So, all right, guys. Thank you everyone for watching the show. We really appreciate it. We value you guys' time, and everyone check out 168 documentary coming out tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You're going to see lost cryptids there. And you're going to see some great evidence that was captured by myself. And there's actually a lot of evidence caught by a number of people. So check it out. And then we'll discuss it next Saturday.
Oh, maybe Sunday.
maybe
see.
we will see. All right, James, thank you for co-hosting. Right. I really appreciate it. And shout out to Tyler for doing an amazing job and getting some great audio.
Yep, we'll have to see him next time.
We'll have him back on. He can host anytime he wants.
He'll be back. Yep. All right.
That's right.
We'll see you all next time.
See you guys on the other side.
The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.